Hey guys, Mensch here. Today I'm going to show you a track. It's a track in a house genre. It's number one in the top Beatport, top 100, and top of all the genres. Yeah. Today is April 19, 2025 year. Yeah, this track is number one. I decided to make something like a copy of this track, but I decided to make something like edit by something like to add something, maybe reduce something, because there was something in arrangement, something like some bars disappeared. I decided to make it I don't know, maybe some to make a logic, something like we have straight bars, something like 8 bars, etc., something like that. And I decided to add more affixes, more transition affixes, more steps, etc. You can listen to this track by Chloé, Caillet, Luke, Alessi, a track called The One, with Jocelyn Brown. I guess it's vocals. You can check in description. Number one Beatport, top of all the genres at this moment. Let me show you some parts of this track and I'll explain how I made it. By the way, I'll leave the link in the description to the first video. I made this track from scratch. But I speak other language there, my native language, but English is not my main language, but I'm trying to speak English. Yeah, so let me show you the track and some parts of the track, and I'll explain how I do it. It's a track, kind of classic house. It's something like built on a quartz or something. Let me show you what we have here. We have rhythm section. I decided to use not so many loops, something like that. I use my own kick because this kick from the original track, it sounds maybe a bit not so massive. I decided to use my kick. I decided to use filter here, also filtered kick, and rhythm section sounds like that. I decided to use just loops, by the way, from spinning, UK house, and deep progressive or something. I don't remember exactly, but this loop sounds a bit the same. Something like that. Here we have something like a feel. By the way, I didn't hear a lot of affixes in original track. I decided to make an edit, as I said, and I decided to use a lot of affixes. I'll show you. So let me show you the bass section. By the way, the bass I found this bass. Honestly, I know what is the bass here because I use this kind of bass in a lot of my tracks. It's something like a bass back in the days. By the way, the pack called Sound of the 90s Part 2, the bass called Famous FM Bass. If you listen to tracks from 90s, end of 90s, start of the 21st century, there are a lot of tracks with this bass, and when I hear original mix, I said, wow, I know what's the bass, what's the preset, something like that. And we have variation of this bass here. I decided to make my own melody for the bass because the bass sounds like that. Yeah, I decided to make my own melody. Yeah, it sounds a bit different. Sounds something like that. We have the sub bass, the same melody. Sub bass, it's kind of square, something like that. And we have a section with these chords. We have organ, sorry. I decided to add organ. I know it doesn't exist in original track, but I decided to use it in my version. And we have here these chords. I used these chords. I just used the category chord and tried to find the classic house chords. It called classic step. It called also classic step, but other. It's from Techno 2, and this one from Progressive Tech House 2. Of course, maybe you have one shots or I don't know, maybe other Nexus presets. Feel free to use whatever you want, because I also used a bit different chord than in original track, because it sounds a bit different, yeah. And I decided to add more chords to make maybe more massive chord. It's a dark step from Progressive Tech House, and this one from Progressive House 1. Of course, you can use other variation of these chords because there are a lot of chords in Nexus. Maybe you have Serum or other synthesizers. Feel free to use whatever you want. We have this string. And also we have a variation. I decided to use the same preset, but make something like a chord. Something like that. We have here this siren. Something like that. I decided to use this string, because there are a lot of house tracks with this string. It sounds really cool. In house tracks, I decided to use this texture. Something like that. And we have a fixed section. By the way, there are a lot of toolroom samples. I really like to use toolroom samples when I produce house or something like deep house, classic house, tech house. Yeah, and we have here snare roll. I decided to use these snare rolls in these sections because I don't know, I really like how it sounds, because we don't have any FXs here. I don't know why. I tried to find some transition FXs. I think it sounds more logical because we have transition FXs. Something like we have this section with the string, and then we have section with chord. How to make a good transition, of course, using FXs. Yeah, that's why I decided to use FXs in my version. We have a crash, downlifter, have reverse crash, and this uplifter. Nothing special, I guess. The melody not so complicated. It sounds like a lot of classic house tracks with the steps and with strings, something like that. And I decided to make something like that in the break or in the build-up section, because in the original track it sounds a bit different. Something like that. So this track reminds me of classic house back in the days, and there are a lot of tracks in 2025 that sounds like a classic house. I guess it's something like a circle of music. We have genres, something like Eurodance, something like in these days, but maybe with better quality, better bass drums, basses, etc. And we have a lot of old school sounds like steps, like old school basses, rhythm sections, etc. I don't know. I like old music. Something like back in the days, end of 90s, start of this century. Really cool tracks, and there are a lot of tracks in these genres. You can use this project to make your own track. Don't forget to change these chords, change vocals, of course, change something in this track to make your own track. I just made something like basic, something like a basic from basis for track in this genre. Maybe I'll use this project for my next song. Of course, I'll change the kick, the bass drum, maybe basses, of course the melodies, maybe use other chords, maybe pianos, I don't know. But anyway, I'll leave the link to Patreon and Boosty where you can find this project. Maybe you want to work with it and make something by your own, something like that. So Mensch was here. Bye bye, guys.